CBS News Miami.
Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us. I'm Lauren Pastrana, and welcome to CBS News Miami's 4 p.m. Quickcast. Let's take a look at today's top stories.
Always alerting, always tracking. This is Next Weather.
Taking a live look now at downtown Miami. That cool down we've been waiting for finally moved in, but just how long will it stick around? Next Weather meteorologist Cindy Presser joins us now with that answer. Cindy.
I think you're going to like these temperatures all week. If you like the cool stuff, notice we're wearing boots today. So that's a chance that we really don't get to have here in South Florida. So 67 degrees. We have a beautiful blue sky. We call that a bluebird sky today. Not a cloud to be seen. High pressure in control. Winds still a little gusty, variable now up to 21. It's that northwest wind that's bringing that cold, dry air in place. So with this being known, and because we're expecting calmer winds tonight and clear skies, that's going to help our temperatures drop to the coolest levels we've seen so far this season. We expect to see about 50, 51 degrees in Miami, but look at the 40s showing up Pembroke Pines. You get away from the water, away from the influence of the water, and then it really cools off. But again, warmer down here in the Keys because surrounded by water. So because we have clear skies, northwest winds, they're going to calm down tonight about 5 to 10 miles per hour. Very dry air all across the state of Florida. Coldest away from the water again, so that's why it is going to be so cold tonight. Temperatures will start to modify after tonight, but still all below average for this time of the year. Look at this. Lows should be around 61 degrees. We're going to sit in the 50s all the way into the weekend, so this is a nice change for us. We have some clouds out there, mainly out in the water areas because it's cold air blowing over the top of fairly warm water. Water temperatures still sitting in the mid, even upper 70s out here. So that's why you get those little clouds developing. That will not happen over land, though. So our winds right now gusting to 21, but out of the northwest at 12 miles per hour. Highest gust today still made it up to 30. Those winds dying down tonight, and then tomorrow, not bad at all. We should have another beautiful day. We'll call it mostly sunny, but because of the breezy conditions yet tonight, we still have a small craft advisory in effect until 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. It does include the Keys, also the Atlantic waters, so be careful. Could still see some gusts up to 25 knots, and those seas are pretty hefty too, 6 to 8 foot seas there. So that will end by tomorrow late morning. So here's your forecast. Cold mornings Tuesday into Wednesday, sticking with that northerly flow, and that's over continental air. Another front comes through, a dry front that just reinforces this cold air in place. High pressure will scoot across the state to the north, so a little bit milder heading into the weekend, and then we'll start to see a chance for some showers, but really not until we get into Sunday. And our temperatures also sitting slightly below average for this time of the year. Will warm back to the mid 60s by the weekend. So what a nice change, at least brief as it is. Here's your forecast. Look for highs tomorrow in the lower 70s. Wednesday, look at all this sunshine all the way through the week. We finally start to see a change as the winds turn direction. Sunday and Monday of next week, a chance for showers and temperatures back mid to upper 70s.
Cindy, thank you. We move now to breaking news. 2 Broward students are detained after BSO located 2 loaded firearms and several loaded magazines, along with illegal narcotics in a car in a parking lot on the campus of Deerfield Beach High School. At this time, the investigation is active and ongoing. There are no known threats to the school, and the school is currently on lockdown. We'll have more on this story coming up at 5 o'clock. And Chopper 4 over the scene of a crush injury in Port Everglades. Officials say the victim was crushed by a load-off of a truck and then rescued by bystanders. The victim was transported to Broward Health in very serious condition. The search is on for the gunman responsible for shooting 2 teens, leaving 1 dead in Miramar. This afternoon, we're learning more about the victim who was killed. CBS News Miami's Peter Dench has the latest.
Miramar police are asking for the public's help after a 17-year-old youngster was shot and killed and his girlfriend wounded while they were in their car. Police have identified the victim who lost his life as 17-year-old Johnny Henderson, seen in this photograph. They say his car was riddled with bullets when it was southbound on University Drive near the Florida Turnpike. The shooter took off. Police say they are looking for dangerous individuals with no regard for human life. We'll have much more on that part of the story coming up at 5 tonight. If you can help, call Broward Crime Stoppers at 954-493-TIPS. There is a reward of up to $5,000. In Miramar, Peter Dench, CBS News, Miami.
A man accused of human trafficking faced a judge today. 27-year-old Christian Carvajal is in jail accused of sex trafficking a teenage girl. An undercover detective spotted the teenager getting out of a vehicle in Doral over the weekend and later identified the driver as Carvajal. Both Carvajal and the teen told police they met online just days before and that Carvajal agreed to drive the teen to her dates in exchange for cash. He's being held without bond. CBS News Miami's Ted Scouten will have more on this story starting at 5 p.m. Police bust a bogus veterinary clinic operating out of southwest Miami-Dade. Investigators say a pet owner who took their dog to the clinic inside a home tipped them off after the pooch wound up with an infection following an operative procedure. A licensed vet eventually had to amputate that dog's tail. When agents searched the home, they found multiple people there with their pets waiting for treatment. 68-year-old David Villalonga Blondin and 47-year-old Robert Hernandez Farah have been charged with practicing veterinary medicine without a license. A car thief with expensive tape strikes in Brickell. Miami PD's auto theft unit is currently investigating a case of a Rolls-Royce stolen from the valet of a Brickell Avenue building. This happened yesterday. We'll speak to the victim tonight at 5 o'clock. And we'll have more news when we come back. Stay with us. Welcome back to CBS News Miami's 4 p.m. Quickcast. The United States is promising a response after a deadly drone attack on a military outpost in Jordan. 3 American troops were killed and nearly 36 others injured. CBS News Miami's Skylar Henry joins us live from Washington, D.C. And Skylar, what's new as the White House mulls over a response to Iran here?
Hey, Lauren, good to see you. Well, just in the last hour, we have learned the names of the 3 service members who were killed, all of them from Georgia, ranging in ages from 23 to 46. We're also learning a little bit more as to how this attack actually happened in the first place. Now, the White House held a briefing not too long ago where they talked about how the president may choose to respond to these attacks, only going so far as to saying that it will happen at a time and manner that they deem necessary, but they will make a direct response. Now, there's a lot that is still being investigated at this point. The Pentagon also had a press conference about an hour or so ago where they talked about ultimately what they were trying to do to get to the bottom of who was responsible. They feel as if there are some clues indicating a specific militia group that is tied to Iran, but did not go so far as to identifying them just yet. They also talked about what were the manner of the situation as this drone attack happened in the first place. It happened at Tower 22, which is an outpost over there in the Middle East that stations some 350 service members of both the U.S. Army and the Air Force. We know that this attack happened while these service members were sleeping. We should also point out that more than 30 members of the military were also injured, ranging in different injuries, but they're all in stable condition at this hour. But the White House has also indicated that there is a possibility that those injuries could potentially go up for concussion-like symptoms and things like that. As for the pressure the Biden administration is facing, we know that that is a tight rope that the president will certainly have to walk, especially as the Biden administration has said for months that they do not want a wider conflict, given what we're seeing right now between Israel and Hamas in Gaza. And then there's also the matter of those hostages. We know that there are more than 100 hostages that are being held captive because of said conflict, and we know that there's talks happening right now that are trying to figure out where there can be some humanitarian pauses to try to work to get those hostages out and more resources into Gaza to help with the civilian crisis there as well. So the president has not come out to say what will happen next, ultimately putting out his condolences to those families, but also indicating that something will happen at some point soon.
Skylar Henry live for us in Washington, D.C. Thank you for breaking that all down for us this afternoon. And happening today, the I.R.S. is now accepting and processing federal tax returns. Here are a few things to remember. Your employer has until January 31st to give you your W-2, so just 2 days away. The tax deadline is April 15th. The I.R.S. free file program is already open. Anyone who makes less than $79,000 a year is eligible to file free. The road to Vegas and the Super Bowl 58 will be drenched in red. The Kansas City Chiefs will get another shot at a ring, while the San Francisco 49ers get a rematch 4 years in the making. This time, the defending champions will have Taylor Swift on their side when they go to Las Vegas to take on the Niners. Dana Jacobson has more on the super matchup.
Here's Kansas City from the 19, throwing at the goal line, and it's caught by Kelvin It's become a familiar scene in the NFL playoffs. KC's dynamic duo, Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce, leading the Chiefs offense.
And Kelce caught it!
But it was Kansas City's defense that put together a masterclass in Baltimore, limiting Ravens star quarterback Lamar Jackson.
To Flowers, he dives, the ball came out, it's recovered by Kansas City.
Before the Ravens fumbled away their best chance at a comeback. In dynastic form, the Chiefs back in the Super Bowl for the 4th time in 5 years, hoping to become the first back-to-back winners since the 2005 New England Patriots.
We got a lot of guys on this team that know how to win. And when playoffs came around, I knew we were going to make it happen.
In the victory, Kelce set a record for most career catches in the playoffs. He celebrated post-game with a kiss from girlfriend Taylor Swift.
You gotta fight for your right to party! Believe it, baby, we going to Las Vegas, Nevada, to go get us another one.
In the NFC,
Come on, Jameson Williams, the speedster.
the matchup between the Lions and 49ers started with a thundering roar.
Jameson Williams scores!
The Lions dominated early in San Francisco.
Makes a man miss. Gibbs, inside the 5, touchdown, Detroit! Birdie with a lot of time.
But with the help of this circus catch from Brandon Ayuk,
Oh, he caught it off the ricochet!
that roar was silenced. The 49ers erasing a 17-point halftime deficit,
Mitchell surging forward. Touchdown!
delivering a heartbreaking loss for Detroit on the cusp of reaching their first ever Super Bowl.
And there it is.
Instead, it is the Niners back in the big game, hoping to avenge their Super Bowl loss to the Chiefs 4 years ago.
Man, it means the world. Faithful! I'm just proud to be a 49er, and we got one more.
2 weeks now to talk about the Super Bowl team, so I'll go to one of the losers. I mentioned the heartbreak for Detroit without a single Super Bowl appearance, but still a season to be proud of. Just 3 wins in 2021, 2 seasons later, 12 wins, their first division title in 30 years, and multiple playoff wins for the first time since 1957. Dana Jacobson, CBS News, New York.
And, of course, you can watch the big game right here on CBS Miami. That's CBS News Miami's Quickcast. I'm Lauren Pastrana. Stay tuned for more news right here on CBS Miami.